Going to talk about what it actually truly means to be alive, what it truly means to exist, and to impose your will on life. Because if you see throughout life, most people are being destroyed by life. And life is destroying all of us. Life attacks all of us. Life comes for all of us. It comes for its strongest. It comes for its weakest. It doesn't matter where you stand on the spectrum. At the end of the day, you're going to take losses. And the younger you are when you hear this, the more humility you will have as you move throughout your life. Realizing that, mate, you're going to lose. Your haters are going to lose. Your lovers are going to lose. Everyone at the end of the day is going to lose. And what I'll put life as an analogy, I'd compare it to being in a slaughterhouse. Now, in a slaughterhouse, there are cattle. And in this case, in life, we are the cattle. Me, you, as the individual, are the individual cattle that are being processed through that slaughterhouse, waiting for their execution so that their resources can be redistributed back into society. And eventually, the whole process happens again and again and again. And this is what we would call the circle of life, the life cycle, meaning it moves in a cyclical form, going round and round. Where it starts is not where it ends, but it's where it will pass through. It doesn't end. It just goes on and on like a loop. So each of us, as we are the individual cattle that are waiting to be slaughtered. And all of us are there waiting in line. Today it's my turn, tomorrow it's your turn. The day after that is the next person's turn. And all of us, regardless of what race, age, gender, nationality, whatever status you want to provide, are all connected in this cosmic reality as brothers and sisters through the grace of death. And that is the final execution for each and every being that awaits them as they come to the end of their life. That is just the nature of the game, and that is the nature of reality. Nothing lives forever. Everything has an expiration date, and you must be aware of it so that you can move throughout your life with humility and hopefully exercise the most amount of opportunities that you can exercise within this lifetime. Now that you've understood that we are cattle being pushed into the slaughterhouse of life, and each of us, we wait in line as we slowly approach the executioner's seat, waiting for him to and slice off our heads. However, I want you to understand that in this life, you will meet the executioner many times throughout your life. And for some people, it'll be the first time that they meet him, he takes them out. Some people, it'll be the second time that they meet him, he takes them out. And some people just continue to meet him throughout his life. The more time you spend on this planet, on this earth, the more likely you are to continue meeting this fellow, known as the Grim Reaper of Death, that connects all of us in bondage, from me, a young African, to you, a white European, to you, an Arab Middle Eastern, to you, an Asian persuasion Chinese, to you, an Aussie Wazzy in the Dolly. All of us are connected by this one being that executes every single thing on the planet, from me to the dog, to the cat, to the table, to the chair, to the rocks. Everything must go at some point. And that is the job of the Grim Reaper, connecting all forms of life through death, through degradation, through demise, and many more things. Now you must understand that you'll be visited by this character many times in your life. And some people, the first time that they meet him, it's going to take them out. Some people, the second time that they meet him, meaning near-death experiences, disease, ill health, misfortune, accidents, natural disasters. The Grim Reaper will face you in so many ways. And you have to understand that if you want to have a chance at this life, you must be willing to overcome all of the obstacles that he is going to provide. Because of his existence, he allows us to rise above all of these challenges. Because of his existence, he allows us to have an even more perfect and more better life. Because without the challenges, it would be very hard to appreciate what we have. But now that we know that everything is finite, it's much easier for us to go out and actually appreciate the things, because we understand that they're not going to be there forever. Therefore, in your understanding and my understanding, the Grim Reaper is not a negative force and is not a positive force. You must be indifferent towards the Grim Reaper. You must be indifferent towards death, because there is nothing that you can do about it. There's no point in being happy about it, and there's no point in being sad about it, because it's going to happen to everyone, and we are all connected to it. Now, I understand some people may use these things as positive reinforcement, and in my younger years, I definitely did, and it allowed me to take more risks. So the fact that I knew that everyone was going to die, I was willing to take more risks. I was willing to be more outspoken, because I knew there isn't really much that they can do to me past a certain point, because we're all connected as brothers and sisters through death. Therefore, I can actually speak my mind within this life, knowing that everything that I say will not stick forever. At some point, I will not feel the emotions and the consequences of the things that I say and the things that I do. And I used death as a positive motivation towards me. And some people are going to use it as a negative motivation. And that is being stuck in a fear mentality, where you do not do anything because of the fear of death. The crippling fear of death will prevent you from going and kissing that girl. The crippling fear of death will prevent you from going down that slide. The crippling fear of death will prevent you from jumping into the pool. And therefore, you do not experience anything worthwhile on this planet. You do not get to exercise the opportunities that you have been given. And that is why I told you, you should not hold a positive or a negative emotion to the Grim Reaper. You must be indifferent towards him. Don't even expect his arrival. Just know that he exists. Know that he's coming for you one day. But don't live your life expecting his arrival, as most people do. That's why most people do not take the opportunities when they're presented to them. And they let them pass by, because they think that if they take that opportunity, possibly the Grim Reaper is awaiting them. So they won't go on the ride. They won't jump off the slide. They won't go down the zip line. They won't jump off the plane. They won't do any of it, because the Grim Reaper is literally living with them every single day, reminding them, casting a shadow on their life, reminding them that, hey man, whatever risk you take, I'm always here, and I'm ready at any time to just slice you up. So we are all a part of this plan that was created by forces that at this moment in time we cannot comprehend. But we are all a part of this plan. Therefore, you must understand that as we move throughout this plan, you must be aware. Because once you have an awareness of this, you can begin reprogramming your mind to avoid the Grim Reaper's despair and the Grim Reaper's curse, which is to constantly have him on your mind and constantly having sabotaging your opportunities, constantly having beating you down. And life's true test is to those who take the losses and are able to come back and to bounce back. Because as I told you, all of us connected by death are going to take losses, inevitably. As long as you breathe and you can see, you're going to take a loss on this planet. And that is a guarantee. That is an inevitable outcome that each and every single one of us will just have to come to terms with. However, life gives its best jewels to those who take the losses and somehow, some way, do not allow them to defeat their body, defeat their mind, defeat their spirit, and overcome. And eventually those people even see that they learned from those losses. Those losses prepared them for greater wins. And that is when you're winning and you're succeeding and you have actually mastered life and its obstacles. Still, no matter what position you're in, man, you could be the richest man on the planet, you could be the poorest man on the planet. All of you are going to incur the same losses, which is death around you and death within you. And that's why you must understand that from these two polar opposite ends, these two will choose to live their lives in two completely different ways. However, you must realize at the end of it all, the outcome is the same, and that is you will be sent through the slaughterhouse, and your time will come. As much as you manage to dodge that other slash and dodge that other one, I told you, it comes to your life so many times, and the longer you live, the longer it's going to keep coming. So maybe you're now 80 and you've been just dodging all of the Grim Reaper's attacks. However, at some point you're just gonna get it in line and you drop like a fly, and just like that, it is done. No pain, no gain, no thought, no emotions, just life and what is inevitably awaiting each and every single one of us. Therefore, you must stay humble. Brody,